Remember Yom and Moshe talked about wanting to discover the identity of the Jewish people, what it was all about, why they were called, why God made them a nation and what their mission is to the world. There's this guy I wanted really to meet, Chuck Cohen his name is. I used to work with him. He's a Jewish guy, a lot of insight, knowledge, everything about the Jewish people. And I really want you to meet him so you can hear it from him, what he thinks and believes from the Bible is the calling of the Jewish people, what in the past and today and in the coming days ahead as well. If you want to, I think it'd be great.
Good. Sounds excellent.
Okay,
thank you.
Chuck! How you doing, man? It's good to see you again. It's on time, man. It was my friend Richard that I talked about on the phone.
Hello, Richard. Welcome to Israel. Come on in.
Full of questions.
So how did you get here, Chuck? What's your story?
In 1989, with my wife and my two boys, we made Aliyah. Shortly after that, I got involved with King of Kings Assembly, and I was there as part of the pastoral staff for 17 years, and that's where I met Ian, and that's where our children have been raised.
Chuck, I was explaining to my friend Richard just a bit about why I came to Israel in the first place, why I sensed it was important to understand as a Christian my identity and what that had to do with the Jewish people, that it wasn't separate, but very much connected together. But I thought it'd be really good in some way for you as a Jewish believer, someone who's got a very strong sense of understanding about the calling of Israel, just to explain to Rich in your own way, in your own process and understanding what that means about Israel's calling and purpose and mission and so forth.
Okay, well, in short, I think the first thing you need to understand is that Paul in Romans 15:8 says, Jesus Christ became a minister of the circumcision to confirm the promises made to the fathers. Let me give you the paraphrase.
Chuck is a very passionate man. He's unshakable in his belief that Israel is chosen by God, and they have a part to play in the destiny of this planet. He is very knowledgeable.
There are a number of things that God says to Father Abraham. Number one, I'm going to give you a land. Now, I know that many Christians have problems with this because the land is such a problem nowadays. But
people talk about political arguments and facts on the ground about Israel. But Chuck, for me, has always been someone who gets back into the Bible. Forget what TV is saying. Forget what you feel is the right situation in the Middle East, what you think should be right. He really encourages people to look to the Bible.
But, Richard, when you look out from this 14th floor and you look out at this building here, this wasn't here 50 years ago. This is a fulfillment of prophecy. This is prophecy coming to pass before our eyes. I will gather them back from the nations. I'm rebuilding Jerusalem, etc., etc. I will make you a great nation. The Jewish people have been a great nation. There's many things that Jewish people have contributed to culture, to society, to science, to medicine.
I'm glad Richard could meet him, to meet someone who's lived the land, whose sons have been in the army, who stands on God's word and prays for Israel. I think it's really good, and hopefully Richard will really take something deep from his meeting with Chuck today.
In Genesis 12:3, I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. Now, why did God do that? Did he do that?
Yeah, so why did God have to choose a nation?
He chose a man for a nation to come through. Did he do that just so that the Jewish people would feel special and we're alone and we're protected and held with the rest of the world, so to speak? No, he did that because he wanted to protect us for your sake. Get to the New Testament, Paul says, you who are from a wild olive tree, I don't know your background, but most of you Gentiles come from wild olive trees, are grafted into Israel's cultivated olive tree. And the root, the promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through Messiah, Jesus is establishing of them. The root supports you, not the other way around.
I have a number of secular Israeli friends. What you're saying there, as a Jew, it just has no meaning for them. Do you find that even in Israel?
Obviously, our government, I mean, if our government had any understanding of God's purpose for this nation, the last thing we would be trying to do is giving away this land that God gave Father Abraham so that the world could understand who God was. Not only our government, but we've got our school system. Remember, this nation, God used secular Zionists to start this nation. That's why the religious had a very hard time with the establishment of the nation of Israel beginning.
I mean, I come from England, hundreds and hundreds of miles away. I acknowledge Christ as my Saviour. I know how important He is and the destiny of this planet. But why do so many people in this nation not acknowledge Him in the same way that I do?
Part of the reason is because of the same. It'd be the same answer as to why so many people in the church don't acknowledge this restoration as being of God. It is a total lack of understanding of the Old Testament. The other part of the problem is the history of the church with the Jewish people. Many Jewish historians say that the Jewish people were much safer and had it better under Islam than under Christianity, because of all the bloodshed, because of all the pogroms, because of all the anti-Semitic, the introduction to the world of anti-Semitism through so much church teachings, because of the replacement theology. And so you're expecting Jews who have been persecuted in the name of Christ to now love Christ? Ain't going to happen that easy. There's got to be a revelation.